So, for all the talk about Donald Trump's weirdness in this particular election cycle, it turns out that Hillary Clinton and her team are way, way weirder. The media have simply chosen not to report it. On Friday, WikiLeaks spilled an email showing that Clinton campaign chair John Podesta was invited to a spirit cooking by Marina Abramovich, along with John's brother Tony. As Particello reports, spirit cooking often incorporates human elements, particularly blood, breast milk, urine, and sperm, in ritualistic cooking. Its origins are found in Cake of Light, a supposedly spiritual food whose ingredients include honey, oil, menstrual blood, and sperm. Like, this is really a real thing. In a Reddit forum, Abramovich told users the context of the ritual depends heavily on intention. Performing it in a gallery or a studio makes it art. Performing it in the confines of one's home makes it more intimate and spiritual. Abramovich also recommends eating the pain after cutting your middle finger, using fresh urine to wash away nightmare dreams, and mixing fresh breast milk with fresh sperm milk for earthquake nights. This is real. But Trump is the weirdo. Hillary's oddities have gone unreported by the media for literally decades. According to Bob Woodward, Hillary brought Gene Houston, co-director of the Foundation for Mind Research, to the White House when Hillary was First Lady. There, Hillary held seances with Eleanor Roosevelt and Mahatma Gandhi. She said she thought it would be a step too far to talk to Jesus, though. Hillary wrote that Eleanor, quote, usually responds by telling me to buck up, or at least to grow skin as thick as a rhinoceros. Hillary, by the way, also likes to throw back the alcohol. Her former campaign manager, current corrupt Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, he said, quote, she loves to sit, throw him back. We all hear about the story. She and John McCain actually had a shot contest, I think in the Ukraine or somewhere around the world, and she actually beat John McCain in a shot contest, unquote. So, Hillary isn't exactly the paragon of stoic sobriety. She's an odd lady surrounded by odd people who will do odd and terrible things as president. Just don't expect the media to report it. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show. Okay, lots to talk about today. And I want to start by apologizing for some of the technical oddities on the show. Obviously, if you're watching this on Facebook Live or watching it on Daily Wire, that's just because I'm abroad. I'm over in Austin, and Austin, as a blue area, has decided that censorship is obviously the best possibility. In any case, lots going on. Let's start with this Podesta story because everybody's covering this a little bit wrong. Okay, there's no evidence that John Podesta is a Satanist. There's not. There's evidence that Marina Abramovich is a weirdo, and that John Podesta is a weirdo, and that Tony Podesta, they're all weirdos. There's no evidence that they go around worshiping the occult, worshiping Satan. And honestly, having Alex Jones and company pushing theories about the occult and those being taken seriously, let's not go over the top. They're weird, that should freak you out, but it's more about them being environmentalist, wild left weirdos than it has to do with them worshiping Satan. I don't know any evidence that they worship Satan per se. It seems bad enough to me that they're ingesting food made from other people's sperm. By the way, has there ever been a Clinton scandal that doesn't involve sperm yet? I think we're still searching for a Clinton scandal that doesn't involve sperm, I think. But meanwhile, it's pretty clear that the left is freaking out. Right now, here's where the polls are. So according to the Real Clear Politics poll average, Hillary has moved to a little bit more of a lead than she had yesterday. But in the state polling, here's where we are in the state polling. Hillary with a 1.2 percentage point lead in Florida. If she wins Florida, the election's over. Trump with a 3.3 percentage lead in Ohio. Clinton up 3 in Pennsylvania. That's very narrow. New Hampshire with Trump up 1.5. Trump up 0.8 in North Carolina. Clinton up 2.6 in Colorado. Trump up 2 in Nevada. And in Wisconsin, Hillary's up big. Michigan, she's up big. Maine, she's up big. Virginia, she's up big. Georgia, Trump is up. Iowa, Trump is up. So what does that mean? What that means is that this entire election, as always, seems like it's going to come down to Florida if these polls are right. Now, my own suspicion is that Trump's lack of a ground game means that he's going to underperform a lot of these polls. But I will say that it's so volatile, there's really no way to tell at this point. In the 538 broadcast, in the 538 calculation, they say that there's about a 3-point lead for Hillary Clinton. Their averages now make it about a 3-point lead for Hillary Clinton. And so the Democrats are panicking. And they're making asses of themselves, as usual, except more than usual. So here is Barack Obama yesterday, very, very upset with Donald Trump. He says that Donald Trump is bad because he only hangs out with celebrities.
He spent a lot of time with celebrities, spends a lot of time hanging out with the really wealthy folk, but you don't see him hanging out with working people. Unless they're cleaning his room or mowing the fairways on his golf club. You're gonna make this guy your champion if you're a working person? Come on. Somebody who spent his life without ever showing any regard for working folks. But he has insulted minorities and immigrants and Muslims and Americans with disabilities. That's the voice you want? You want a voice who's bragging about how being famous lets you get away with what would qualify as sexual assault and calls women pigs and dogs and slobs.
Okay, we can stop it there. So Barack Obama goes on, he says he only hangs out with celebrities. He doesn't care about working people in any real way. Okay, really? Really? Okay, so he doesn't care about working people in it, but presumably Obama does. Obama spends all his time pretty much every single day meeting with celebrities. In fact, there's somebody online who's saying that President Ash Carter, the defense secretary, is actually the president of the United States. Obama is just the celebrity in chief. And it's pretty clear that that's how Obama sees the presidency. One of the great ironies of this particular election cycle is that President Obama can't believe that a reality TV star like Donald Trump might take his place. The great good God King, Barack Obama, might be replaced by this dumbass, Donald Trump. But here's the reality of how people see Barack Obama. They don't see Barack Obama as some great statesman. They don't see Obama the same way Obama sees Obama. Obama sees himself as a great world leader. Obama sees himself as a great God genius. Obama sees himself as this wonderful fellow who's going to lead us from the darkness to the light. Most Americans see Barack Obama the same way they see Lady Gaga, except he has more power and he doesn't do as many weird sexual things on tape. Right? Barack Obama is just a celebrity to them. This is why celebrities worship Obama. So Obama ripping on Trump for meeting with celebrities. I mean, the fact is that Trump's celebrity connections are so much less than Obama's celebrity connections would make your head swim. I mean, Obama is constantly meeting at the White House with everybody from 9/11 Truth or Macklemore to Beyonce, who talks routinely about what she wants to do with her P word in her songs, and that's no problem for Obama. So one of the big problems with American elections now is that it's impossible to make a credible charge against your opponent because everybody's in the gutter. So Obama says that Trump is a celebrity. That's true. But Obama's a celebrity, and he's the one who made it that way. He's the one who solicited that. He's the one who has sought celebrity status by going on Samantha Bee like 3 days ago. So, again, none of this washes. Obama, by the way, acknowledges that Hillary Clinton is really a bad candidate. I should have invested in the clothespin industry before this election because there are so many people who are holding their noses in voting. It's just absolutely insane. Here is President Obama holding his nose about Hillary Clinton.
When I hear young people who tell me, well, you know, I'm not that interested, or I don't think my vote makes a difference, or even though Trump is terrible, but, you know, Hillary's not exciting me that much.
There's a trust issue that a lot of young voters have.
Yeah, when I hear that stuff, I just have to say the world's imperfect, politics is imperfect, candidates are imperfect, I'm imperfect. You make choices. You decide on what is best in this particular situation. And in this particular situation, it's not even close. Hillary Clinton is somebody who's qualified to be president and cares about the issues that millennials care about and will maintain the progress that we've made over these last 8 years.
I love it. I mean, President Obama there basically praising himself to the sky. I like the point where he says, I'm imperfect, and you can see that he thinks he's lying. Deep down, President Obama saying to himself, no, nobody's perfect except for me. But he's basically admitting that Hillary's awful. You just have to vote for Hillary to stop Trump. On the other side, you have everybody saying the opposite. You have everybody saying that you have to vote for Trump to stop Hillary. Nobody likes Hillary. Nobody likes Trump. It's awful. And you can see that the Democrats are freaking out about this because if this election is a referendum on Hillary Clinton instead of Donald Trump, Hillary loses. That's the way this works. When it was a referendum on Donald Trump, Hillary was winning because nobody wants to see Trump be president. If in the American mind, this election is now a referendum on Hillary Clinton, Hillary's in serious trouble because nobody likes her. So it really is a mindset. If the media covers Hillary more in the last week and a half leading up to the election, major advantage Trump. If they cover Trump more over the weekend, major advantage to Hillary Clinton. And that's why you see the Democrats in panic mode. So Tim Kaine, the presidential candidate, he's whining now that Congress is saying they're going to investigate Hillary Clinton. He's desperately trying to get the attention off of Hillary Clinton in the last days of this election cycle.
People are throwing the impeachment word around before the election has even taken place. I mean, first, it kind of suggests a little bit of defeatism, like, well, we think we're probably going to lose. Second, it also suggests a really bad view of what the role of a legislator is. Same about this investigation stuff. I thought legislators were supposed to legislate. I mean, investigations are part of it, but The real issue is legislation. So I hope folks, voters, will hold them accountable. Yeah, don't tell us just what you're going to block. Tell us what it is that you want to do.
Yeah, it's supposedly about legislation. That's the real problem here, is that the legislation has all broken down. It's amazing how they're trying to shift blame. Meanwhile, the Democrats are in complete disarray. Bernie Sanders is out there campaigning for Hillary, and he's, at the same time, Barack Obama is trying to get out the vote on the basis that Barack Obama is the greatest president ever, and we have to continue this winning streak. Bernie Sanders is out there saying, oh, by the way, Barack Obama is not a very good president, and things are pretty crappy. Here's Bernie Sanders. Final note from socialist septuagenarian Bernie Sanders.
Real unemployment remains much too high. If you add people who don't have any jobs with people who are working part-time or they want to work full-time, know any people who are working part-time or they want to work full-time? A lot of people out there, people who have given up looking for work in high unemployment areas. Real unemployment is over 9%.
Okay, so Bernie Sanders is very upset about the state of the economy. Real unemployment is too high. We need more socialism, except for the fact that you need more black voters to show up and vote. And you got a problem there because black voters aren't interested in voting for Hillary Clinton. Robbie Mook, who is Hillary's communications director, he's out there trying to get the focus off Hillary Clinton, saying, Hillary's been cleared and she'll be cleared again. None of this is a big deal.
I am totally confident when the FBI says what they have, they get the information out there, there's going to be nothing new. He said he didn't even know what the emails were. We found out he didn't even have a warrant to look at them at the time he sent out the letter. We're just saying get the information out there on the table. The voters are smart. Hillary has been cleared on this. She'll be cleared again. And we'll move forward and focus on what we care about in this election, which is kids and families and how we're helping people afford education and health care, and keeping our country safe.
And he gets a big round of applause, of course, from the audience of The View for that. But the fact is that most people don't think that Hillary is necessarily going to be cleared unless something really, really corrupt happens. Now, all of this would be good news for Donald Trump going into the final weekend, except for Christopher McChristie. So you remember Chris Christie. He's the fellow who's been destroying the Republican Party for the last 8 years. So Chris Christie, I've never seen any one person have this sort of impact on presidential races 2 times in a row. If you remember back to 2012, Chris Christie spoke at the Republican National Convention. He'd been vetted for vice president and rejected because Mitt Romney thought that he was kind of corrupt. And Chris Christie still got the keynote at the RNC, where he proceeded to spend the entire keynote talking about how wonderful he was instead of talking about Mitt Romney. His speech bombed. Then you remember the week before the election, he hugged President Obama, talked in glowing terms about what a great guy President Obama was, how President Obama was this great fellow for coming down to New Jersey right after Hurricane Sandy, and they walked arm in arm down the Atlantic City boardwalk, and they made sweet love under the trees at midnight, and Barack Obama ends up winning the election narrowly, in large part because of the backlash to Hurricane Sandy and the feeling that they did a good job during Hurricane Sandy, and Chris Christie helped push that perception. This year, Chris Christie was responsible for the murder-suicide that took out Marco Rubio, the guy who's most likely going to be the nominee if Chris Christie hadn't excoriated him in that New Hampshire debate, leading Donald Trump to quash Rubio's momentum in New Hampshire, and we get Trump as the nominee. That's bad enough. Now, 2 of Chris Christie's top aides have been convicted on all charges in Bridgegate. That's going to be the news the media run with this weekend. Chris Christie is the head of Donald Trump's transition team into the White House. Obviously, the media are going to now attempt to shift their coverage away from Hillary's corruption to Chris Christie's corruption and therefore Trump corruption. That's going to be the message. So well done, Chris Christie. You are absolutely, indisputably the absolute worst. And meanwhile, the fact is that the Christie surrogates are doing, the Trump surrogates are doing him no great favors, obviously. And I'm sorry we have to sign off now with the folks on Facebook Live. But go over to dailywire.com and you can watch the rest of this live. Our quality of broadcast will be better next week. I'll be back in the studio next week, not on the road so much. But obviously, it's going to be part of the mailbag. If you want to get all the special goodies, we're about to roll up some brand new special goodies. If you're an annual subscriber, you get a free copy of my book, True Allegiance, which is doing really well in the charts. And you get a free signed copy if you're an annual subscriber. Plus, you get Klavan's show live and his mailbag and lots of other good goodies to come. Go to dailywire.com, become a subscriber. We are the largest conservative podcast in the United States.